welcome back to my YouTube channel. And right behind me is a beautiful scene, as you can see. And let's talk about this quarter improvement. I know I am a bit late. I should have done this on the last day of the June, but right now it's July, and already we are mid mid July. And well, as you can already see, I haven't made any progress, and just a failure I am. And really, when I do think what's the reason why I don't do it, I just don't do it because really I don't have the money. Right now, my business is not operational. I thought that this year I would finally, yeah, I'm sorry for the background noise. I can't do anything about it. I could think that I could scream over there and tell them to stop shouting, but really they are four and I am one, so I'll have to bear it. But anyway, so as I said, you need finance in order to do things. Since back when I graduated in 2021, and now it's been 5 years since I graduated, and in the beginning I didn't wanted a job, and now I feel like doing a job is not really my thing. But I also understand that really starting your own company is a big thing. It is, it's a lot of challenge, but yes, that challenge worth it once you have the team that believes in your goal. And in this quarter only, I think, yes, in this quarter only, I uploaded one of the greatest thing that a founder would ever do. That would be to actually share what is the mission, what is the vision of the company. And I'm quite glad that since I just can't change this society for the better because I don't have that power. Maybe I I can go for the elections, but I don't think so. I really have what it takes to win it, because you really have to use the dirty tricks in politics. And well, I'm not someone who is going to do that. And well, what I am going to do, as I've said, to create my own company where men's rights are preserved. Where men's rights are preserved. And I will take a pause for a second. As I said, right now the thing that I suffer for is the lack of power. I don't have power. And what do you mean by power? You mean the financial power. When you have that cash, and what is cash? It's nothing. It's a piece of paper that the government prints, which is printed by the RBI and which is accepted by the peoples of this nation. And whoever has it, they have control over people. Like, say, if you have money and if you pay someone some cash, they will do certain degree of work for you. And even at some times it will be unethical and immoral. But anyway, as I said, even the government themselves, they disregards the right of the people, which we called as democratic rights, civil rights. I understand that there are plenty of nations which suppresses and abuses their people. We are human beings and we have the natural tendency to rule and command and to prove ourselves. And I'm no different from them, from anyone. But I'm also a man who wants to have that sexual experience. which women they can easily have it just because they don't have any accountability. Imagine the sheer advantage a woman have. They don't need to prove themselves, and that's fine. Even I would accept that they don't need to really create their own company and be its top CEO, founder, management actor. But yet, when we talk about competing, then I have to compete with the entire men in order to prove that yes, I'm good at this, or maybe my company is better than them, and convince the people that why they should be working at our at my company, and really whether they really believe in the mission and the vision we strive for, or they are just here to earn money and live their life carefree. I mean, they would have to put in the effort, but you understand, they don't have that ambition. And well, as I said, I don't have money, and this is the single reason why I have not joined gym, as I have stated, as I have been stating this from my last 3 years. And with time, I hope that in this quarter I would start finally selling something. I would actually start manufacturing something and start selling it to the society, so I have a source of income. And with that, I just start building my empire, start building my company, start contacting other founders, other business, start selling them my product. Even right now, I have bought the instruments. I would say the sensors and the various instruments, the tools that are required to build your own humidifier. You know what a humidifier is? It maintains the humidity in the air, and it's going to play that nice sound that will get you a great good night's sleep. That would help you, and everything else would be the part of related to marketing. And really, my main point that I want to say is that I hope that in this quarter I am going to start building my product like the way I build my own soap, but I have not do the experiment with it right now. I would start experimenting with the soaps, start selling it, start building my own humidifier, then build it, then start selling it. I just started get GST, etc., 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 and finally from there keep building it in order to create a tech empire, and maybe perhaps think of really leaving this country for a better one, because really I don't want my future generation, my future children to be in a nation where men's rights are simply crushed. And really, I don't hate women, but if you say the suffering of women matters and their suffering means disregarding the rights and the suffering of men, then that just plain selfish nature. And well, I don't really respect even the government, parliament, and the judiciary of this nation. So yeah, the only thing that stops me from leaving this nation is not having financial support. And I, still I would really require a passport from here, and to really clear the foreign language test. And any country, in my opinion, where there is no legal adult entertainment centers where really a man can go and have their sexual needs fulfilled, in my opinion, is doing great injustice to men, where women have the right to file sex. They have the right to file sexual offense and initiate proceeding against a man, but not the other way around. And well, this is it. I know I have been talking about this a lot. I keep expressing. I actually want people to listen to listen to my suffering. That how being a man, if a woman start expressing their pain and their misery and the helpless victim cry, the entire nation would be boiling, and well, they will be fighting for their rights. And really, who elect these peoples? These peoples, the society elects them, and they have their own opinion. And I really don't even respect these feminist men who consider themselves being a man. You are nothing but just an emotional, maybe at times selfish person who might be wanting to get closer to women for sexual gains, and or maybe you are just an emotional fool who are simply fooled by their victim, their tears. And well, a woman really is something. A woman really is someone who knows how to control men. And with this, I'm going to now next move to the part where I will be discussing what I hope to do in this quarter. Welcome back to Freeplane and Open Source Mind Mapping Software. I know I am doing this around almost 19 to 20 days. I am I am late. I am 20 days behind the schedule. I should have uploaded this video on 1st of July, sorry, 31st of June, maybe 30th of June. I don't remember whether it had 31 days or 30 days or 29 days. Well, I'm not going to waste my time on that. As you can see, these are the things that I have done, that I have said I will focus my skill on, and I have done this recently. Recently, I just thought that I am really so slow and so useless that I am really not focusing my attention on my career. Rather than that, I am really cursing women, cursing the parliament, cursing the government, cursing the judiciary, that they do not care about men, they do not care about their rights. Women, they have such a great advantage to have as much sex as they want, and men, they are forced to really indulge in self pleasure and masturbation, and women, they don't have to, because there is nothing that fears them. If they psychologically dominate a man, they can even commit rape crime on them, and there will be nothing which a man can do in order to really get justice. And this is really the thing that I am, as a man, striving that in this country, since the illiterate criminals are forming the law, they do not care about the people, they do not care about the democracy, and neither these peoples know how to run this country. They are elected for their own selfish reasons, and all of this talk about really, developing the nation, having the vision. It is all in front of media and a PR campaign, and I'm not going to waste my time on that. Well, now, as I said, these are the core. Let's say if I'm talking about robotic software engineer, these are the core responsibilities that one needs to know. And the same way, the next thing will be about the kinematics, sorry, the essential skills, then the key tools and techniques. And I'm going to learn all of this one by one so that I build a very strong portfolio. And I am so much really skilled and talented that no company would be able to reject me. Of course, you should ask this one question: if really I know all of these skills, am I going to be so foolish to work for any company? I don't think so. And you are right. You will get to know at the end that really all of this, if I really know all of these skills, I'm not going to work for a company for just a fraction, not even a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a salary that are really worth. Now, let's talk about. So, as you can see, this is about robotics software engineer, hardware engineer, Ross Elvaper, and similarly, you can search and see. I have done this through AI. Those large, those large language model that are really trained on billions of websites. Maybe I should say millions of website and text and throughout the internet all of this information it has been really everything is just calculated and it's the best thing. Of course, if there is a better model that is launched by these global tech leaders such as Google, Microsoft, Anthropy, and then there are various DeepSeek, etc., etc. I don't know. Maybe I should even take their names since I'm all since I will be I am going to be a founder of a company. But yeah, I should take it. It should not matter. No one can deny the fact that Google, the most used search engine is Google, and they are global leader. They have their own etc etc etc. So as you can see, these are the skills that one needs to know. Uh, I studied this back in my college years. Maybe I should stop being off topic. One can go and search for this. Of course, if you want this, I can give you a roadmap, the tools and techniques which you would need in order to be a successful robotics hardware engineer, software engineer. Either you want to build maybe your own projects, upload it on my on maybe let's say GitHub or any other website where you can showcase your skills to the people, to the recruiter, and you would get a job. Or I would even give a better suggestion. Why not create something of your own? Let's say if you if you know how to code, you can do it for 6 months and really create a software and sell it to the people. You would make money out of it. Of course, I myself I am not this much good, let's say at Python, that I start coding my own software and start selling it. Maybe contacting some let's say IT firms, or maybe let's say some other hospital industry, biomedical medical industries, where hospitals they might really need that they are selling software. I believe there will be plenty of softwares out there in the open market, and they will be supplying their free trial. But they have custom requirements, and one can do it as per their requirement and get paid for it. So you get it. These are all the tools and techniques that I will be trying to delve in this quarter. Hopefully, not wasting my time on porn and really on various adult games, on watching this drama and or maybe just playing some kids game, child game. Uh, so these are all the things that I am trying to overcome, and as I have blamed again and again, I am a victim of the shame and fear towards sex. by this Indian, this sex repressive Indian culture, where really, if you were to go to a school, you will find that how boys they are not allowed to talk to girls, and there is really even you would have peer pressure from others from other students. And I could really tell about myself that how I used to be a guy who used to fight with every guy. I used I try to prove them that I am better. Let's say if I'm playing football, to I used to be the guy to try to make the most goals. And similarly in academics, the only thing that no one really talk about was the part of sex. What do you do when you have sexual desires? Of course, even the girls, even the boys, they used to indulge in self pleasure. They can lie about it. They don't want to talk about it. But this is the problem which creates the sexual offense that happens in our country, where really things that should have been taught back in the teenage years, like the way it is done in foreign countries like USA, like Germany, like France, they have much better sex education imparted to their teenagers. In this country, if you are a man, you are really unfortunate, in my opinion. Of course, I am thinking that I should improve this, but I really don't think so. As long as there are illiterate criminals, parliament member who are elected in this country, of course, the true evil comes from this society itself, and they are the one to blame and suffer. And I am just an unfortunate guy that is stuck in this country, and I really want to go abroad. And this is why they will be hiring someone who has the talent and skills. And maybe in next few years, I might leave this country for a better one. And I hope to, because I really don't want my future generation to live in such a trash nation. And I hope these criticism, if if you are an Indian, do not take this as a hate towards this country. It's a constructive criticism. Try to improve upon it, because if this country really doesn't, then really everyone knows the truth. So yeah, so next comes the part of humanoid robotics development. As you would know that back in the 20s, at the start of the 21st century, the evolution of IT, it came into existence, and whoever built, let's say, maybe an IT consultation firm, now these people, they are billionaires. They had less resistance in the foreign market, and whoever captures this part of building humanoid robotics, because India has such a large population, we have 1.41 billion people, and selling, let's say, if you build a humanoid robot and you sell it to the peoples, you will have not only the joy of building something so complicated, so challenging, but you will be building a tool that will change the future. It will revolution it will revolutionize the world, and not only that, you will also get rich by doing it. Humanoid robotics career will have a huge amount, and right now it is very much clear from the IT industry, where people are getting laid off just because they don't have AI skills. I am not going to really give you some advice that you should join my course. It's up to you. But first, I have to create my own course. And this is where I have the book Hands on Machine Learning with Scikit-learn, Keras, and TensorFlow. I hope you can say it. I bought this book back in the year 20, back 2 years back. in 2024, and still I have only read first chapter and a little bit of the second one. Until to this date, I have never finished this book. Even though I have been saying this from my last year that I will start reading 3 pages per day, five pages per day, and really upload that journey on YouTube, build projects, and really start doing the work. Next comes the part of uh, I should eliminate this because really certification have no value. I mean, certification they do have value, but really one should also have the knowledge. And well, I do have knowledge, but really I don't have any practical knowledge. I have not done any of the thing practically myself. So these are the things that are really important. Next comes the part of being a civil servant. There are 11 examinations, 11 paper you have to give in order to be with a good marks in order to get selected as an IAS officer. And one of the most really unfortunate thing in order if you were to ever become an IAS officer is that you will still be under these illiterate CM and PM. These incompetent leaders will be leading this country. You know how laughable it is that illiterate peoples are leading the literate one. But that's the beauty of our nations. That in your political campaign, you have to just throw free money at women. You have to talk about development, and then you have to blame others and tell them how you are better than them, and you will be elected as a MLA, as an MP, and then you will be representing that constituency in the parliament, and that's it. And well, to be an IS officer, you really have to understand what are public right, what does democracy means. Democracy means a country that is run by the people. Of course, these people they will be selected by the people. They will be made accountable for the peoples, and it will comprises of the peoples. By the by the you just get that three lines: by the people, for the people, of the people. And but in this thing, do these do these people they really have the ability to be at the parliament? In my opinion, no. Let's just take for example the sex offense law in our country. I just can't stop thinking about how injustice these laws are. And as a man who never had sex in his life, one of my biggest frustration is is the part where a woman is not accountable for anything. If you are a woman, you don't even have to study these civil services. You can just spread legs and get anywhere in your life. If I want to, let's say, get a job at a corporate, I will have to prove my skills in the test that will be conducted, followed by the interview round, and then I will be selected. And and again I will have to grind for a decade in order to get to a good place. But for a woman, there is no thing like that. A woman can simply walk to an HR manager, she can sleep with him for a night, and of course everyone has sexual desires, so why wouldn't a woman would sleep with a successful man? And by sleeping, she is not only getting a job and a promotion, but imagine how great it is for her.
Indian laws, they ensure that such acts are permitted, and in the name of protecting women from exploitation, these laws, they are formed by the parliament in order to promote it. This is the greatest incompetency of the Indian parliament, and this is what happens when you elect these illiterates. And who is the one to suffer? Common peoples like you and me might be suffering. At least I am suffering. And if you really do a little bit of research, you will find that these politicians, they send their children to study abroad. They will be settled abroad. They themselves know that India is a trash nation. And if they were not at high government position themselves and they were not enjoying a great life, they will not be spending their, I would say, their life here in this nation. So, as I said, these are the two things that I am thinking that I should study. I don't know. Even I give my first attempt of civil services in this year. Back when it was conducted in maybe let's say May or June, the preliminary test for the for all the preliminary test of the civil services, and I will not be selected. I will never be selected because I didn't give the second paper. But I have an idea that if I really put in the effort, I can clear this examination. When I was having that paper, I know what I was capable of. But one of the biggest problem is that I don't have a girlfriend, and really I also don't earn money so that I could really sleep around with sex worker. In fact, I love prostitutes more than anything because I know what they want. They want money. And the same, even your girlfriend, she will be with you as long as you are handsome, you are rich, you have a future, and she might have extra, she might cheat behind your back. And you know this, that as long as you have money, she will be with you. As long as you are spending it on her, she will be with you. The same thing happens with your wife. As long as you are rich, successful, only then she will marry you. As long as you have money, she will be with you. As soon as you get poor or you come in a troubling situation, or she has a better choice than you, then she will have extramarital affairs, and there is nothing you can do. Even if you found evidence of adultery, which is hard to get, even after that, only her alimony will be cancelled, and once again, she will be enjoying with some other guy. That's the beauty. And if she is working, if you become a victim of crimes such as domestic violence and even sexual offense, I know these things are hard for men to speak about because the entire society disregards the suffering of men and they don't want to talk about it. They find it shameful and fearful. And this is really the problem why this country always stay trash. So, as you can see, as a civil servant, as a civil servant aspirant, I will need to know all of these things in order to become one. But I really question, what do you really need in order to be an MLA MP? The one that will be discussing which law should be passed that will be welfare for the nation. You don't need anything. Just start selling tea in a corner and that's it. People are actually foolish to educate and focus so much on their child's education. Look at the PM of our country. That's the highest position any politician can get. And look at it. Just look at him, what he did. Social, social welfare. So as I said, I don't want to stay in this country. And by this thing, maybe if I build a very strong portfolio, then I'm going to leave this country for a better one. Build my career in some foreign nations where there will be legal adult prostitution center where I can build my own company and have sex without getting concerned about some woman falsely accusing me, because you don't know the character of a woman. If they can't get if they can't get you hooked by the usual, I would say, mastery of words, by understanding your emotions, they will use threat and intimidation as a tactic. And I know that if you record this and if you were to go to the police and launch a complaint against them, there will be actions. But really, it's a great advantage to be a woman. And I don't like that. And I can't accept this. So next comes the part of education and training department. This will be one of the department of PP, as I have said, but unfortunately, due to the lack of funds, I didn't started it this year, and hopefully soon start. I am going to start earning my own money in order to save it and for the next year, so that I can start it next year. And one more other reason is that I don't want this institution to be just an institution that train children. I actually want this to be something that really makes a change in the incompetent Indian education that is ruining the life of, I don't know, maybe 80 lakh children that are completing their schooling, their high school every year, and they should really know about gender neutral sex offense in the nation, about the protection, about their rights, their accountability, especially the accountability of women, and really taking, once you turn 18 years of age, you start giving vote, and that's where you take the responsibility of your life, and that's also the time when you start voting. You vote the next leader. So this is one of the reason why, as a man, I really suffer, and I blame this Indian culture of religion for my failure. But as a man, I can't do anything. If you are weak, vulnerable, you can't get justice in this country. I understand that laws, they are created for the weak and the vulnerable, but the men are the ones who are really the most vulnerable, because who can fight the entire parliament and the judiciary? No one can. No one can win over them. Next comes the part of suit. And of course, I how can I forget this? Let's say if I want to get a job as a man, if I want to get a job, then in every company there is sexual harassment cell, where if someone is constantly harassing you sexually, then you can complain against them. The major problem that happens is all of these laws, they are favored for women. There is no law for men, and especially women, they are really of low character, so they can use any intimidation tactic in order to ruin you, in order to really not pay you. And this is one of the single reason why, since these little children, they are not made accountable for their sexual remarks and even for the false accusations that ruins the life of the teacher. Throughout, I believe, in the country, PP would be the only institute. PP education and training department would be the only one that takes into account the remarks passed by the girl students, by the boys, and ensuring these little harmless children, they are made accountable for their false allegations and they should get imprisonment. Yes, you would understand this is not harsh. Once an allegation is made against someone, it ruins their social character, it ruins their image, it gives them so much anxiety, so much fear, so much stress. Some even commit suicide. In fact, it's a lot to handle. The entire society, your friends, your family, they start doubting a person, and not only that, you would have to face the legal harassment of the law. And this is the reason why living in this country is nothing but just a trash, trash situation for a man. And this is why we are going to have CCTV surveillance, ensuring that really once everything is captured and in on camera, I believe things will be better for everyone. I do think that it will also violate their privacy a little, but it's not. It's going to ensure that the data can be used as an evidence and it can be used to, to train AI models and really also uh, be uploaded on YouTube. So you just get it, just because of an incompetent administration, the entire society is suffering, the entire community of men is suffering. And this is not just a mere fear. I can even show you cases where children they have filed false allegations and really men have to go through great harassment for it. And no one really cares once such allegations are made. Let's say the teaching institutions like schools, colleges, and at some coaching center, they simply fire these guys, and it really does not. They want to save their reputation. They don't want the police harassment, and they concern about the safety of the children the and their co-workers, their teachers, the other teachers, their staff. So if I was to work in some company, then as a man, I want to ensure that my security comes first, then the security of other comes. Of course, I will be working there for money, but what's the point of working at such a workplace where a woman can simply get a job and a promotion by their body? It's in their nature, it's in their blood, it's in their DNA to not fight. They are good at taking care of home, and they should have been doing this because that's what for which they are evolutionary evolved. But if they insist on really working and earning their own money, then it's their life. They should not marry without premarital agreement. At least as a guy, as a man, I am going to be someone who is going to always promote we should have premarital agreement. So I I have planned, just because I am a founder and a CEO of my own company, of my own future company, I have that position and power to really decide what would be the rules and regulations, and we are going to take additional 20% fees from the girl child in order to ensure that men in the company, the teachers, they are protected from women, from this little innocent, helpless, harmless, seemingly girls, these minor children. Even boys can do it, but I'm not going to talk deep about it. So next comes the part of soap. In the same way, if, as I have said in my last quarter improvement, that I have made a soap, but that soap, I have not scaled it. I have actually not started making them so that I could sell it in the society and make some money. Right now, I am living on my parents' money, and it is very shameful. It is very degrading. I don't have the freedom to really do things that people of my age they are doing. They are going out, they are traveling, they are really enjoying their life. Meanwhile, I am stuck here doing literally nothing but just playing games, watching porn, indulging in self pleasure, etc. thing. I am not really doing anything, but I am just making these videos, hoping to improve, but I am not. So I hope in this quarter I will really start making my soap. Of course, without the brand, without the logo, because I don't even have the money in order to register my logo as a trademark, something that will cost lakhs of rupees just because it would be in a multi-class registration. Next comes my first humidifier, my first electronic project, my first product of my future company will be humidifier, and it is really going to be an innovative one that will solve the problem of the people. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to tell its specification, but it will be a very good one. So you get it. Next from the part of quarter three improvement, all of these things it will remain the same. I have to eat protein rich food in order to grow the damaged muscles, that the cramps, the damage that I will have after doing all of these exercises, all of this punching. But I really never do anything at all. I just keep saying. Next comes the part of mental improvement. I have to write self definition, because really how you define yourself really matters. And we also know that we have a subconscious mind, and what we tell ourselves, that is what we become. Let's say right now I am saying myself that I am a guy who really wastes my time on porn. What can I do? I told you that what my genuine problem is. If I want to have sex with a woman, then I will have to go approach her and really maybe spend my time playing that game of cat and mouse, and really she would also have the sexual desires. I will have the sexual desires, but you don't need to tell this to the society, otherwise she might face problem in her marriage, and maybe people who's people will start judging your character. Then what does people do? They don't do sex, they don't masturbate. This can't happen because they are human beings and they have desires. Not every one of them they can control these urges. So we know that the most watched website are the adult websites, these porn websites. So you just get it. It's a great advantage to be a woman. Think about it. If you are a woman watching this and you say you get scared of men, men are the one who is scared of you. You are such a sheep and a helpless victim. There are you have your own commission that really in the name of protecting women, it simply harasses, abuses, threatens, and intimidates men. And how great it is to really be such hypocrites come. And you really do not deserve respect. At least I would openly say no woman in this country deserve respect. And you might say it does not matter whether you respect us or whether you respect us or not. But once I would have the power like the way I have here as a founder and a CEO, you will start to realize that everything will cost you more. When you will be publicly call out just for the way you file false charges, just by the way you exploit men, you threaten them, you intimidate them, you even commit sexual offense on them. That's the time when everything will be costly to a woman. And that's how can that happen? That's because I would be at that time a person who had the position and power. Maybe I may contest election, let's say in next decade. Maybe I might contest election in next decade if I don't become an IS or maybe if I don't go abroad. Then if I was and that if I was to become an MLA of a constituency, then you can think I can propose a bill in the Lok Sabha that might after after passing from Lok Sabha from Rajya Sabha and by the signature of the president, it will become a law. And that law will ensure that you are made accountable. In fact, I am better than the entire country combined. I am better than entire judiciary, government, and parliament combined. If I was to be the highest authority in this country, then you can take this thing that I would have turned this country of 1.41 billion people into a nation that is utilizing its geographical location that promotes that promotes the highest agriculture. Not only that, India has so many engineers that they can utilize to build the technical companies, invest in robotics and AI, expand into the defense sector. We already know how this country is reliant on other foreign nations, especially Russia, for the defense needs because what actually India had what what is the one thing that India can sell to the other nation? It's their BrahMos missile. And you understand it's also made by the Russian. So India, they themselves have not done anything meaningful. I know I am saying this about my own nation and I might get hate for it, but it really does not matter. The truth is truth, and these are the habits that I need to develop. Next comes the part of dating a girl every week, and also I should write making uh, founders, CEOs, my friend. So these I know I have said this in my last quarter or maybe in my first quarter that that I'm going to date a girl every week. I'm going to approach girls in public places like park, in library, in various other places where I can really talk to them, get their number, date them, spend some time with them, have the thing that everyone wants, and also get connected with founders and CEOs. I actually created a I actually created my LinkedIn account, but I just I deleted it because really I was not getting any likes, any support, anything that really makes me think that really these peoples are like-minded. They support my mentality. None of them actually want to talk about the dark side of the corporate where the men are the ones who are really grinding. They are doing most of the efforts and really women they are not. Even I saw that how women they upload so much selfies on their professional account. It just makes me think, do they actually have any skills at all? Or they are just going to get recruiters, they are just going to sell their skills, or they are going to sell themselves. You just start thinking, do you have any skills apart from your good face? No, you don't. And if any reasonable founder and a CEO who is thinking beyond their lust, they are not going to hire such people. And this is the this is the reason why, as a founder myself and also a CEO, I believe that men are superior when it comes to getting the job done. They understand what is hierarchy. They understand that they have to make an effort. They have to maintain that constant attendance, that efforts in order to get the promotion. And this is why I believe women, if they really talk about empowerment, they should create their own company and be an all female company in order to ensure their own safety. And really, I don't care. I just do not like them working in a company where I don't believe they really have the capability to do the effort. It will always be a guy behind a woman who will be simping over her. I would say they would be obsessed over her, and she will be using her feminine tactics in order to get their work done by that guy. And this is why you should really be aware of the tactics which are used by women. So this is it for this quarter. Thank you for watching this video. Create your own self mastery and success journey. And as I said, be the best, create your own company, and have premarital out. If you are a guy, the only thing that you can do is control whether you are getting married or not. No one can force you against your wish to get married. And if you choose to get married without having a premarital agreement, in spite of UCC, which is Uniform Civil Code, which states that men will be treated equally to women, and there will be equality, and there will not be any. I don't believe so. I don't believe there will be. You should have the power to create your life on your own goals. And if you meet someone who has the same logic as you, who have the same goals as you, then you can mutually support each other and get married. And that's where premarital agreement it ensures that if there were to be a divorce, then your assets are protected. You don't have to fight for the child custody and maybe go and give unnecessary maintenance, or maybe you don't become a victim of extortion in marriage, and you are really having a peaceful life. Because as I have said, it's a great advantage to be a woman. No one will talk about their sexual history on a social media application like YouTube, and that privacy is necessary. You have to approach the opposite gender in order to be comfortable with them, and this is the thing which women they really don't face. And just don't put them, just don't put women on a pedestal, and be clear with them. If you have if you have premarital sex with them, ensure that you record their consent, just like the way you might be using condoms and birth control pills. Ensure that you use audio video consent in order to ensure that your life is not ruined by the incompetent police administration, by the investigation which is done by the police and entire social, entire news outlets, whether that be newspaper, whether that be media, is not filled with your face saying that this guy is an accused, and at a later stage it is found that it was a false allegation, and your entire life might be ruined by that, and maybe you might commit suicide because you don't really get any kind of emotional support. So ensure that you would have sexual desires, you would indulge in self pleasure. A woman indulge in self pleasure with their fingers. But when it comes to the sexual offense, women are always the ones who are victim, and that is not the case. And you can't get justice. So take out your banner, get out on streets, march to the New Delhi, march in front of the parliament, march in front of the Supreme Court, and raise one slogan. Either you respect men or either you resign from your post. And the moment when every man will start doing it, I can tell you, these illiterate, incompetent people, they will start respecting you. And women who are really in the name of feminism, who have who are given this ability to disrespect, insult, humiliate, harass, abuse, degrade men, they will be feared to do that, and they will be on their track. They will start to understand that they are simply not meant for fighting. These things should be left to men. They should cook their food, and that's the best thing they can do. They are exceptionally well at cooking, at cleaning, at taking care of child, at raising children, and we should not be fighting, trying to prove each other who is better than them. Everyone are put at their place, and they should respect that. They should mutually work in order to achieve success. But anyway, this thing is something which I'm not going to teach a woman, teach